protecting Main Street from Wall Street. It's Chris Hoffman with Money Unleashed.
How much money do you put into your checking account from work on a month-to-month basis? It has a high probability that with your investable assets, we can replace that paycheck.
It's time to put you back in control of your money.
You've worked for 35 years. It's time for you to not stress. It's time for you to enjoy and live the retirement you want to live.
It's Money Unleashed with Chris Hoffman.
Welcome into Money Unleashed with Chris Hoffman. We appreciate you checking out the podcast. New episodes come your way on Monday and Friday each and every week, so make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, you can catch Money Unleashed every Sunday on 95.5 WSB in Atlanta. Tune in for 2 great hours of conversations geared toward getting you thinking about your financial present, your financial future, and ways to help you build the retirement you want. That's every Sunday on 95.5 WSB from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, here's a little exercise for those of you out there listening today. I want you to close your eyes and imagine your ideal retirement. Maybe you already have some things in mind, places you want to go, things you want to do, time you want to spend with the people you love and you care about. But now open your eyes. There's a different little reality check for your daydreaming that I have to throw out there, and I doubt many of you will respond that this was the ideal retirement, and that is keep working. MarketWatch covered this very topic, though. How to afford retirement in America? Keep working. That article cited the Employee Benefit Research Institute's most recent retirement confidence survey, which cited nearly 30% of retirees are still working, which is a record level. Meanwhile, a staggering 75% of current workers plan to work in retirement. So let's point this out. Wanting to and needing to are 2 different things. There are reasons for both, but I can't imagine most people see continuing to work as the ideal retirement. How about you, Chris?
No, but they don't have any choice. It's just sad the way we've boxed everybody in, and we did it in the 80s with introducing 401k plans and basically eliminating, we didn't completely eliminate it, but we all but eliminated pensions. So think about the retirement, folks. Previous generations, they knew exactly when they could retire. They knew exactly what day they could trigger Social Security and exactly what that payment would be for the rest of their life. They knew exactly what day they could retire and trigger a pension and how much that would pay them for the rest of their life. And they looked at that number and they said, if my checking account gets deposited $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, am I going to be okay? Is that going to exceed my expenses and my wants and needs? Not just buying groceries and filling up the gas tank. I'm talking about taking trips, enjoying your hobbies, the go-go years, like go spend, go enjoy, do your thing. So that's, one of the things that I think people struggle with is I don't know what the stock market's going to do. Could my portfolio lose 10%? Most of you, absolutely yes. Could it lose 20%? I'm going to argue most of you, probably yes. Could it lose 30%? Again, I'm going to argue that most of you listening right now, if we did a portfolio x-ray on your assets, your maximum draw based on previous historical performance of the stock market, at one point or another, you would probably lose 30% or more. So that $1 million goes down to $700,000. So that's why people are panicked right now saying, I don't know when I can retire. And if I retire, I don't know if I can fully retire. And they start looking for part-time jobs. Now, if you're working in a new career that you've always dreamed of and you're passionate about and you love it, great. It'll keep you mentally spry and it'll keep you physically healthy. I believe in that. Stay active in retirement. If you're not using it, you will lose it. So that's great. But I don't want to see anybody go into retirement and have to work a 9-to-5 drudgery job for, let's say, healthcare benefits, which is happening way too much. Or take a job even part-time that they don't like, that they don't enjoy going to, because they're worried about the stock market and losing value in their portfolio. That shouldn't happen, folks. We should have it all mapped out and reduce that risk down to a probability on a Monte Carlo simulation that you would be 99% probable to live a full, successful retirement. Those are the type of percentages that we want to generate for our clients that are looking to retire. So you've got to start now. You can't wait until the year before retirement or 6 months before retirement because you won't know whether you can comfortably retire and what your risk exposures are. So acting early and generating a replace my paycheck challenge, hold us accountable to that. The replace my paycheck challenge that we do for potential clients of ours tells you what your financial life can generate, and it almost takes you back to previous generations that had guarantees on their income, namely pensions, namely high Social Security amounts. We will run a Social Security analysis. We will introduce the concept of, would cash value life insurance work for you to generate tax-free income in the future? Would it also cover you for long-term care expenses? But nobody's talking about that type of approach in your 401k. They offered it, they approved it, but I haven't seen any 401k companies jump on the opportunity to propose it to their employees. So income planning, replace my paycheck challenge. It's one of the offers on our website. If you go to unleashyourmoney.com, you'll see replace my paycheck challenge. That challenge is for us at Hoffman Financial Group to replace your take-home pay from all of your financial assets, and you will be surprised at how successful we are, and that's why we call it a challenge that we're willing to take, in our ability to duplicate or exceed your take-home pay with your financial life that you've already built. And talk about a great pat on the back for you and your spouse when you leave our office and you say, oh, we were worried we needed another $1 million. We actually don't. We can generate enough income to live on and preserve our principal so it grows. The other thing I think people miss is they look at retirement as the end of growing their assets. I'll say it again. I think most of you look at retirement as, okay, I need to live off of this bucket of money, and it's okay if I start to spend it down and pull from it as long as I don't run out. That is completely the wrong way to look at it, folks. In retirement, you've got another 30 years, let's say. If you retire in your 60s and you pass away when you're in your 90s, I'm saying we've got 3 decades. If we don't need to touch the assets to distribute income to you, meaning if we don't need to sell an index fund to send you money, if we don't need to sell stock to send you money, if we don't need to sell your bonds to send you the principal out of them, you can let that money grow over time. That's 3 decades of growth. And you're living the lifestyle that you lived when you were working. And if the stock market goes up and you say, hey, we're up $100,000 this year, you can call your financial advisor at Hoffman Financial Group and say, we want to spend the $100,000. We want to go back to our original principal. But that's the way to effectively manage your retirement plan and assets. It's based on income first, protecting principal, letting the principal grow, and using that growth for the extraordinary once-in-a-lifetime go-go trips that you want to take or hobbies that you want to dive into. That's the way we look at managing financial lives at Hoffman Financial Group, which I believe is substantially different than the way most companies look at it.
Now, Chris, you probably won't be surprised to hear there's actually a term for this work longer throughout retirement phenomenon. It's actually called unretirement, which begs the question, why are so many people working in retirement? And MarketWatch has laid this out. It's a combination of inadequate savings, living longer, the disappearance of a pension. Then you mix in concerns about Social Security solvency, ballooning healthcare costs, and then factor in forced retirements by some businesses and the federal government. So these are some of the retirement concerns we talk about every single week. There are folks out there trying to navigate these and solving any and all of these tracks back to, if you got the plan that generates the income, you'll find that you may actually have the game won. You just may not know it.
Yeah, for sure. And you listed some things that we can actually solve for, folks, which just kind of makes my head explode. I'm thinking, why are there question marks around healthcare costs? Why are there questions around Social Security? Why is there questions about, oh, we don't have pensions anymore? Why aren't we preparing ourselves with other asset classes to replace that vulnerability? I'll give you a big one. Healthcare costs in retirement. What does that typically mean? Ding, 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 ding. Home care, long-term care, hospice, all of that stuff. Yep, Medicare falls way short on covering the top facilities out there. But I'll tell you what, if you have a life insurance policy and you can pull down 80%, possibly 100% of that tax-free death benefit to use while you're living, you just checked the box on your healthcare costs. So why not engage with a financial advisory team that basically, I think, completes all aspects of financial retirement planning? Engage with us and let us check these boxes off. How do we replace the pension? Well, fixed income right now, it's paying X percent. If we put X amount of dollars in that, can that create a reliable, guaranteed income stream? Certainly could. Interest rates vary, so we got to watch that. Dividends are typically more stable. They don't fluctuate so aggressively, except if you go through a recession or something like that. But between those two aspects, that might be able to replace a pension. Now, that also preserves your principal. If you have $1 million in dividend stocks or fixed income, and you're just using the dividends and using the interest to live off of, that money stays and has the potential to grow if it's in the stock market, or at least you get back your principal investment and you get the interest from your fixed income products. So it's about engaging, folks, and it's about starting to check the boxes off on building the right retirement plan for you, an individualized retirement plan for you and your family, not putting you in a cookie-cutter portfolio like every other client in some of these firms.
Now, solving the income equation, replacing your paycheck, it gives you control over your situation. It also provides the clarity to make the best choices for your retirement, how it looks, how it feels, and if you want to continue working because it's just something you actually enjoy, that's an option as well. But this article points out correctly, I think, Chris, for a lot of folks, many older adults find purpose and social engagement after leaving their full-time jobs and can still enjoy being plugged in just a little bit. And as you mentioned, there are reasons to keep working. You just want to make sure they're the right reasons.
Yeah, and you enjoy it. You deserve to live a retirement that is stress-free, you enjoy it, and you basically don't do anything you don't want to do. Does that sound ridiculous or does that sound fair? Since you were 18 or 20 years old or however old you were, you've started working. And you've been working extremely hard for a corporation, for your family, for your kids. And a lot of that is stressful and it's a rat race out there. You got to run it hard. But how hard can you run it before you eventually go, hey, it's my turn? I've done 30, 35 years in the workforce. I've done, 20 years in raising my kids. Now it's my time. It's my turn. I've earned this. And you literally have. You have a certain amount of Social Security, a certain amount of investable assets. You've earned it. You just need a financial advisory team, I think, to believe in you and believe in themselves and get you there and show you the roadmap and stay committed to the roadmap. I believe you will walk out saying, yep, these guys do it differently. Call us at 404-341-6767 or go to unleashyourmoney.com. Click Replace My Paycheck Challenge, and we'll get started. We'll do all that reporting for you and show you a different way, and I think a more confident way in building your retirement portfolio.
That number again, 404-341-6767, or as Chris mentioned, sign up at unleashyourmoney.com. Chris Hoffman is an investment advisor representative of Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor and affiliate of Brookstone Capital Management, LLC. BWA and Hoffman Financial Group are affiliated under common ownership. Registered investment advisors and investment advisor representatives act as fiduciaries for all of our investment management clients. We have an obligation to act in the best interest of our clients and to make full disclosures of any conflicts of interest. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV 2A, page 4, for additional information. The Hoffman Financial Group and WSB are not affiliated. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. This information should not be considered tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a professional specializing in the field of tax, legal, accounting, or investments regarding the applicability of this information for their situation. Any client experiences discussed during the show are unique to that client. They are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments will fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Any comments regarding safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of of the issuing company and are not offered by Brookstone. Index or fixed annuities are not designed for short-term investments and may be subject to caps, restrictions, fees, and surrender charges as described in the annuity contract. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV2A Item 4, for additional information. Hoffman Financial Group is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Insurance licensed in Georgia, number 163546.